This is turning into a mukbang video. Hello! Hi everybody, I am Miss MonMon. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all those who have liked, commented and subscribed to my videos so far. I am still learning on this journey. I've had a microphone for 2 months and can't figure out how to work it. I am not the most tech savvy person in the world, or just in general. Anyway, today I'm going to be answering a question that I get quite often. How do you vintage/thrift shop? Having gone vintage and thrift shopping since I was a wee little lass, I have picked up some tips and tricks that get me by quite easily, and I'm going to share them all with you. If you want to get the most out of your vintage thrifting adventure, it pays to be really well prepared. There are a few things I recommend you packing to any vintage or thrifting shopping adventure. The first thing is a measuring tape. You can get a measuring tape literally for about 10 cents off eBay, just by simply knowing your own measurements. Going up to a garment and measuring the waist, you can determine whether this item will fit you. So you don't have to go into a change room, take all your clothes off, put it on to find out it just won't fit on your waist. A measuring tape is also really appreciated by the shop owners because that means they don't have to risk their clothing being damaged in the process of you trying them on. I normally end up leaving mine around my neck, and as I go shopping, I just, oh, that's cute. Measure it, no too big or too small. And if it's just right, I will pop it in the change room to wait for me. The next item I recommend you bring on a shopping adventure is a silk scarf. The reason for this is if you wear makeup like me, it is really easy for you to transfer the makeup off your face onto your clothing, damaging them. Some pigments just will not wash out. So it's really important that you protect the vintage. It has been around for so long, don't ruin it because of negligence. To use a silk scarf, you basically just put it over your face. It's a really good look. I might stay like this. Put it over your face, and then when you slide your vintage garment over, your makeup will be protected, the clothing will be protected, and the store owner will probably love you for it. Going vintage and thrifting can be an entire day event. You will get hungry and will probably need to keep your sugar levels up, so bring snacks. Also, don't forget to bring some water or a thermos of tea if that is basically a poison like it is mine. This will keep you going throughout the day. It's also worth scheduling a lunch stop between maybe a couple of stores. Some stores you will whiz through really quickly, and other stores you can be there for several hours, believe it or not. So it is good to sort of try and figure out where some good lunch stops and some snacks places are along the way. Even just a muffin can keep you going until lunchtime. Another thing I recommend bringing is Hayfever Tablets. Vintage stores and vintage clothing can hold a lot of dust. It is impossible to keep them squeaky clean. So if you're anything like me, dust can be a really big irritant and can cause you to get the sniffles. So just by taking a 24-hour Hayfever tablet, you don't have to worry about reaching for a tissue. The last thing I recommend you bring are your own bags. Especially in Australia now we've got the plastic bag ban. It is good to carry a couple of canvas bags as well as a garment bag. I have 2 or 3 garment bags in my car boot at all times, just in case I buy a dress that really needs to be protected and can't be squashed. Now that you've packed the essentials, it is time to make a plan. I always start, especially if I'm traveling, I Google and talk to local pinups and vintage enthusiasts. Where do they recommend shopping? Sometimes just by chatting to people, they will tell you where some amazing finds are, and these are definitely some of my greatest experiences. The next thing to prepare for is have an idea in your mind of what you are actually looking for. If you have an interest in vintage prom dresses, keep that at the forefront. It's easy to be distracted by all the skirts and the tops and the jumpers, which everything's really cute, but if you are on a mission, stick to that mission. If you are going around just shopping for anything and everything, know what you like. If you like a certain era, try to stick to that. Try not to be too open because you can spend way too long wasting your time and not get a lot out of it. The other thing for preparing an amazing vintage adventure is what you are wearing. Avoid side zips. Avoid anything that is overly buttoned. Something that is super quick and easy to get off. Something maybe with an elastic waist that you can just slip down without having to keep taking everything over your head. I love anything with a back zip that I can easily do up by myself. You don't have to worry with too many accessories such as belts and brooches because you don't want to snag any of the vintage you want to buy on your own jewellery. It can really dampen the mood. This also goes for hair accessories. Don't worry about super cute flowers or hats or even having your hair perfectly coiffed. The amount of taking clothes on and off again can really just mess your hair up. I normally end up chucking it into a poodle like this just because it's so easy just to net or squash it that you don't have to worry about it going frizzy or straightening or any of that stuff just to waste your time. Just don't worry about it. As well as what you are wearing, it is important to have appropriate footwear. A really comfy pair of sandals, something that can also be taken on and off easily, especially if you are needing to put on vintage pants or anything like that. You don't want to be spending ages worrying about buckles or any straps that are a pain, anything that wraps around the ankle. No. Simple ballet flats that you can slip on and off are a godsend. As well as your outer garments, your undergarments are also just important. After working in a shop for several years, you would be surprised how many people just don't wear underwear. Just wear underwear, please. Please just wear underwear. If you're looking for a dress or something for a certain event, try to also bring the undergarments you plan on wearing, such as your girdles, your corsets, just to make sure that the garment that you are buying will fit perfectly on the night. My last tip is know your budget. It is easy to fall into the trap of, oh, it's so pretty, I'm just gonna get it anyway. You can end up losing so much money just by not thrifting properly or shopping for things that just, you know, you like on the day but you won't tomorrow. You can politely ask to see if there's anything similar within your budget, but don't be rude about price. There is nothing worse than arguing that an $800 dress should only be $100. It is priced for a reason. If you can't see that reason, just leave it. Just don't be rude about it. My last tip and trick is just be respectful. There is no reason for you to go into a thrifting or a vintage shop and laughing at the garments, poking fun at them, or trying them on just for laughs. I've had so many people do that to vintage and end up ruining it because I don't know how to look after it or how to put it on properly. And it's just, once something is overly ripped or stained, it just can't be resold. And that's a really big waste of a vintage garment, especially if that's something that somebody really wanted. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you haven't already, but you'd like to, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. We are all growing, and I am so happy that you are here for this journey of vintage, glamour, and tomfoolery. Until then, I will see you all next week. Bye! While the aeroplane is flying, we drink the tea.